Welcome to TiE. We are joined by Mahavir Pratap Sharma, an entrepreneur, investor, and one of the key architects of India's startup movement. As co-founder and past chair of TiE Global, Brain, which is Rajasthan Angels, and convener of the TiE Global Summit 2026, he has spent decades building bridges between founders, investors, and global markets. Today, in this conversation, we discuss the evolution of India's startup ecosystem, the rise of Tier 2 cities, and why Rajasthan could be at the center of the next startup wave. We will also talk about the upcoming TiE Global Summit, which is happening in the Pink City, Jaipur. So, to begin with our conversation, I would like to know from you. You have spent, backed, and seen multiple startup initiatives over the years. What lessons from that journey matter most to founders today?
The fact that I respond one way or the other at an early stage, or I'm available against a message or an email, is something that the startups need. I think they waste lots of precious time, energy, and money when they're not mentored or told clearly by the investors. So I think that is something that people appreciate, and I think I like to do that because it's very, very critical. When a first check or a second check are the most difficult checks to raise, and I think that's where they need to understand if they are ready or not ready. So I think that's something that I have always taken pride in, and I really don't want youngsters to be disheartened after a long time and having lost lots of time and energy. So I prefer them to pivot first. I prefer them to look at why they will not be able to scale up or why they will not be funded, so that they can focus and come to that rather than just beating around the bush.
You have seen India's startup ecosystem evolve from its very early days. What, in your view, is the biggest shift you are seeing today compared to a decade ago?
I think the funding winter in COVID taught us that the strength or the fact that these startups have to survive despite all odds, survive without being funded for years, grow organically, and then raise money or dip in valuations, etc., are a part of the game. So I think those realistic goals or happenings made us as investors in startups far more agile, far more stronger and sturdier, and also a better return on investments.
Mr. Sharma, as an angel investor and chair of Brain, what are founders in Tier 2 cities doing better today? And what do they still need support in? What do you think of that?
So I think Tier 2 and Tier 3 city startups have now evolved. They have realized that cost of operations, quality of life, are equally important, and so they have started to establish their businesses in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. But there are challenges. Obviously, deep tech availability is minimal. So they have realized that they have to have their deep tech team sitting somewhere where they can work from home. And I think COVID taught us that. So I think that's something that they have realized. The other challenge is that there are far more investors available in metros or Tier 1 cities, so they can meet them in person, they can showcase their products, they can showcase their website. It is far more intimate when the pitch is happening, or they can go to a far larger number of investors in comparison to in a Tier 2 city. So they have to travel every time to a Delhi or a Bombay or a Bangalore or a Hyderabad. So those are the few challenges that I have seen that they have faced. But I think investor mindset is changing. I think they don't care what city one comes from. We don't come where they're headquartered. What is more important is the product, the moat, the profitability, the long run, the competition, and other aspects are far more important. It's absolutely okay for a Tier 2 someone not to be in Bangalore, but be in Mangalore or Mysore and other cities around Karnataka. So I think it's that mindset has changed and not a disadvantage anymore.
That's good to know. There is a growing belief that the next unicorns won't really come from metros. Do you really agree with that? And if yes, why do you think?
Two things here. One, of course, this unicorn and this valuation game is absolutely a stressful number to follow. I think the startups should not fall into this trap of urge to become unicorns and try to raise money after money if they don't need it. It doesn't matter whether you raised money after a certain stage and become profitable and not raise money to be labeled as a unicorn. I think that's a wrong thing that people or most unicorns do. I strongly feel that it's not required. But for people who are scaling up or growing, I don't think there's any difference or a probability is any different from for a metro or a tier 1 to a tier 2 city success in becoming a unicorn. It's more about the product. It's more about the service. It's more about the the average order value, in terms of volume and revenue, the competition that these companies might have globally. So it's pretty much the same, a level playing field, because technology levels everything. It doesn't matter where you are sitting. If you're scaling up, if you have a good product, you will sell, you will become larger than what you should be. So I don't think that is something to be worried about.
Well, now let's shift our gear towards, the upcoming Rajasthan DigiiFest and global that is happening in 2026 Jaipur. So as convener, how does Rajasthan DigiiFest and TiE Summit 26 aim to convert aspirations into real outcomes like capital, partnership, and maybe scale for startups?
See, TiE's endeavor has always been to work at the bottom of the pyramid. Many startups in tier 2, tier 3 India or larger Bharat don't have the bandwidth or money to travel to metros, stay there for 2-3 days for an event, listen to speakers or reach out to investors. So we do shift around the global summit across India from north, south and other parts of Asia. So bringing it to a city that is reasonably priced for them to travel or to stay during those 2-3 days, bringing the investor closer to them in north after Bangalore is the other reason why we've come to them. They can probably drive from Delhi or Jaipur, Udaipur, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Agra. So I think that is the reason why we are trying to get closer to these investors. And I think bringing the TGS to a tier 2 city like Jaipur, where the weather approach, accessibility, cost of staying while the event is happening is pretty reasonable. So that is one thing that we want to do, and we have done that. Obviously, there are many other reasons why one should attend, but basically the reason for coming to a tier 2 city is also to prove that India is not just 2-3 cities. India is much larger. The world, the speakers that are coming from across the world will also see that what kind of credible venues that we have, credible hotels and services that we have, and how it doesn't matter where in India you are, there are deliverables and they will be delivered.
All right, Mr. Sharma, that's quite interesting to know. My next question would be, we are anticipating and expecting around 200 crore investment in this summit. What kind of preparedness do you see among startups for participating in the summit this year?
I mean, the excitement among startups is immense. We've received quite a few entries for TGS 100. We also, kind of created a buzz on social media. So my thing is that it's very, very clear and very simple that funding will happen. We have selected top 100, TGS 100. We have TiE Women and TiE Human Global Finals happening here. So we will have about 70 odd startups from across the world joining us. So 160, 170 people, a dedicated hall where these startups will pitch, sitting with almost 80 to 100 investors who will be there on a rotational basis. The odds of investment, even if all these 170 startups on an average raise a crore and a little over a crore is 200 crores. So 200 crores, I think, is a very, very, very reasonable and a very low number, because we did not want to overcommit. But I'm sure investments far bigger, far more should happen at the summit.
Well, this is the first time when TiE Global Summit is happening in a tier 2 city in India. So what do you think? What statement are we as a country planning to give to the global investors? If we are hosting it in a city like Jaipur, which is vibrant, which is known for its culture, but now it is also emerging as a innovation hub.
So basically, what we are telling them is that it doesn't matter what city a startup is based out of. It doesn't matter. India is a large market. India has not even penetrated its tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 and rural market. So the potential of growth of any idea or product that is going to cater to larger India or larger Bharat is huge. So the valuations that they are seeing right now, or the revenues that they are seeing right now, are will multiply at a large level. So please come, invest in these startups. Please come, handhold them and take them to the next level. And that is what we are trying to showcase. Obviously, Jaipur provides great hospitality, great weather, great food, great performances, and lots of history and culture. So that is an added advantage for them to pull as a backup, but the main intention is for them to be starting to invest in real India, across India, not just in a city or two.
Well, you have shared details about the upcoming summit, and we are quite excited to really witness this one of its kind of summit, which is going to happen soon. Now, coming toward the policy side of the ecosystem, I want to know from you, the anticipated launch of Rajasthan state policy is a major highlight during this summit. So, from your experience, how do you think how critical is policy alignment in accelerating startup growth?
So Government of Rajasthan is working very closely with us on this summit. Matter of fact, the summit is called the DigiiFest and TiE Global Summit. This is something that we have absolutely made it clear, because government is an equal partner. We are bringing everything together to the same table. The fact that Government of Rajasthan is serious about the future of technology, so whether it's AI and GPUs required, whether it's data centers that are required, whether it's the GCC policy that's required. In the last month or two, many such efforts and announcements have been made. The AI policy will be unveiled and announced. Absolute matchmaking is going to happen, where mentoring is going to happen to these young startups that are going to attend the summit. So all these things are only happen if public-private partnership is absolutely seamless. I think Government of Rajasthan and us have absolutely created the right model to work, because the government has 100 other things to do. They don't understand the dynamics of the volatile startup ecosystem. We as investors keep an eye on it. So I think co-investing, using funds to invest in startups, mentoring them, hand-holding them, getting the right speakers, bringing in the right technology, making sure the sessions are crisp and clear, and catering to the audience that you have is what we understand. And it's not just a government-only event, but we are integrating everything together for everyone to see.
Well, looking beyond the event, what is the lasting change that you hope the summits will trigger, and especially for Rajasthan startup, and how Indian investment ecosystem is going to shape in next few years?
So I think it is going to evolve. It is already evolving. I've seen many funds taking Jaipur-based or Rajasthan-based startups seriously. I've seen many funds who love to come to Jaipur year after year. I have seen startups not migrate out of Jaipur and go to other cities that they used to 3 or 5 years ago. So in the next year, I think, next 1 year, we'll see more of that. We'll see many companies with raising money at a much higher valuation, success stories coming out of Rajasthan. So all that is going to happen, and I don't worry, or I don't think anything should be a cause of concern other than going up and way up.
That's good. Also, Mr. Sharma, I'm talking to you at the occasion when they are just, couple of days away from New Year. So I really want to take this as an opportunity to ask a few questions around, the year end and how are we expecting the next year.
AI's advent and the pace of growth of AI took many people by surprise. And it's not just tier 2, it's across the board, across the world. Many companies and their valuations and their critical advantages that they had because they were already AI integrated or AI ready is for everyone to see. In terms of technology space, drone, defense tech, climate tech, also are certain areas that have now started to look very attractive and very usable by masses. So I think many people were not ready for that. So I think those are the two things that I think in 2025 were taken advantage of by people who were ready and not as much caught off guard and having to shut down by others who were not ready with all this.
Well, that's good to know. Now, coming to the last question of today's conversation, I really want to know, as we are about to step into 2026, what should founders stop doing and what should they really double down on if they want to attract smart capital?
Well, nothing beats dhanda. Nothing beats making money. Nothing beats being profitable and growing. So if they are profitable and growing, I would double down on production. I would double down on customer outreach. I will double down on revenues and grow. But if you are struggling, if you're burning money and you're not scaling up, I would absolutely slow down. And rethink my strategy, rethink my plan, rethink about my product and competition. It's very, very critical that you don't wait for a 1st of January to decide. It's not a New Year's resolution. You have to be on your toes every single day. Pivot if required. Go fast if required. Slow down if needed. Take a call or take every step that is right for your business, and don't get emotionally involved. Be passionate, but not be bend over backwards because you're emotionally involved in your business that you're doing.